Where the hell is that coming from? Isn't that funny, folks? How about that? No shit. It's that fucking baby like motherfucking video on YouTube. I pulled up YouTube on accident, and that's what that shit was. I'm like, where the fuck is that coming from, man? I'm like, shit. Like, am I being haunted by the baby like motherfucker now? Like, what's going on here? Sorry about that, folks.
Hey, Jocelyn.
Hey, Jocelyn, what's up? Josh, you're on point. You're right on time tonight, dear. What's going on with you? My friend, my brain injured friend. What is the deal? Just to let y'all know, folks, Joss is actually a fellow TBI survivor of mine, and she actually makes content and everything and whatnot on Facebook. She live streams, she uses StreamYard and everything and whatnot, and she makes content and like documents her recovery from TBI. You know, she has some I don't think full paralysis, but she has a limited paralysis that like to the left side of her body, I think it is. She's come a long way. She was in the hospital for like 2 freaking years, man. Can you believe that shit? Like, you know, and you wonder why I tell you how lucky I feel sometimes, Cyber. You know what I'm saying? Can you imagine that shit? I was there for 13 days.
Yeah.
I got out, right?
Wow.
Like,
yeah.
you know, 2 years.
That's tough. That's tough.
Anyways, folks, pardon me with the tissues and whatnot and everything. I cut myself shaving. You're eating chili and rice. Well, you know what, Josh? That is really cool. I like chili and rice myself. That actually sounds really good, to tell you the truth. But folks,
chili and rice.
Cyberneticshark and I are not just rocking this one as a duo tonight. We're waiting on Jassem, our buddy from Rizzle. He's going to be here shortly. He's over in the leftist zone dimension or whatever over in Cali and whatnot, getting after it.
West Coast.
Yeah, in Silicon Valley, baby. Where Cyber and I would be really popular. I can tell you right now, they'd love us there. Those Silicon Valley folks would love us. They love people like me inside. Not that I'm doing anything by that. Oh, no problem, Josh. You always have my support, my friend. Josh is
no problem.
Josh is very stubborn. She never takes my help or accepts my help at all or my support. Like, I offer her help all the time and whatnot with StreamYard and shit and whatnot. She's too proud to let Jeff help. So you are one tough nut there, Josh. I'm telling you right now. But either way, folks, Cyberneticshark and I, my loyal content creator, veteran YouTuber, co-host, I being, of course, Jeff S, aka TrueKnowledge. We're here to do Andor. Look at that fucking t-shirt, baby. Look at that shit. Episode 8. That is one badass t-shirt. Mm-hmm. Oh shit. I like this one. I like the coloring better on mine, Cyber. I do. I like the red. I just like red. I do, personally. Those, you know what? Those are gonna be really good. I'm gonna screenshot both of that. Me and you doing that and whatnot and everything, and put that up on the website. It'll look good.
Actually, I didn't notice until this time that yours was a different color.
Yeah, well, I wanted to differentiate. You know what I mean? And I didn't know how you would feel about the red. You know, so you know.
I like the red, but I'm rocking the silver, so I'm fine with that, sir.
Hey, I'll tell you right now. They did a really good job when you go and look at the on DuckDuckGo or Google, wherever you use, and on Chrome, and you look up the logos for Andor. They have some great logos, like really well done. They're very simplistic, but the color schemes are great. They really are, and I love that little signal they have. That little sign. I don't know what the hell that thing is, but do you know what that is, Cyber? Whatever that is, it's cool. It's cool as shit.
This sign here? You talking about?
Oh yeah, yeah. Does that stand for the Empire?
Rebel. No, that's the Rebels.
That's the Rebels. Oh, that's what that is.
Yeah, that's the Rebel symbol. If you notice if you watch any of the older films, you'll notice a lot of the people in the when they're flying and stuff on their helmets, you'll see that symbol.
Oh, you know what? Well, there you go, folks. I'm learning Star Wars as we go here. Like Cyber, if anything, is more of like the Star Wars person probably out of the two of us. And then Jassem's that's going to be on here shortly. Our buddy from Rizzle, he's a Star Wars person. He doesn't even mess with Marvel or the MCU. He doesn't even watch the Marvel movies and whatnot, which is crazy. But hey, I don't know. I can't blame him for not seeing Wakanda Forever. But hey, I'll tell you what, Cyber, I saw Black Adam the second time last night. And you know what? I enjoyed it the second time better than I did the first time.
Oh, good.
I did. It was really fucking good. It was a good movie, man. It really was. I really was happy with it. I watched it with my son Trevor, and he liked it too. It was better than Wakanda Forever. I can tell you that right now.
It's 100% better than
Yeah.
Wakanda Forever.
And I'm telling you, man, it's too bad. The news, today, The Rock put out that thing or whatever, whatnot, saying that he talked to Gunn and whatnot, and like the Black Adam thing's over. They're not going to be doing a second one, So
Yeah, that was actually a day ago, and yeah, I was like so pissed because
I know.
how good Black Adam was, and I'm like, you kidding me? You're gonna stop on a cash grab of something is gonna sell because everyone loves Dwayne the Rock Johnson. And he did a phenomenal job with this film, giving us a really solid superhero film for the DC, mind you. DC has, a lot of their films everyone hates or dislikes or whatever, and it's like so horrible about it. And, I mean, besides Aquaman and the Shazam, those two films were the bigger of their sellers. And then to take, Black Adam, which has made a good amount of money, I think that was just stupid. I think that they should still keep him in their phase. But
how did Black Adam do? I didn't even know. I don't even know. How did it do box office wise?
Supposedly it's losing Warner Brothers money, but it's still made almost $1 billion. So I don't know what they're complaining about.
Oh, if it made almost $1 billion, then geez, I mean, what else could you expect? What else could you ask for? You know what I'm saying? And I mean,
That's
seriously,
fair.
like, this, I don't know what you want to call this period that we're in. Like, I don't want to say that this is like after COVID or something, whatever, whatnot, but whatever you want to call this, like, period we're at and whatnot, post COVID or whatever, post fucking pandemic, lockdown or whatever, at least, honestly, just to make it get close to $1 billion as a film right now is tough. So I mean, at that point, I think that's great to Black Adam. And you know what? I'm telling you right now, Pierce Brosnan fucking killed it in that movie, man.
Yeah, he did. He totally did. So yeah, I mean, it made worldwide. It looks like it's only made 400 million, but still, I mean, that's not shabby, especially for a film, post COVID, most definitely. So,
no,
that to me is almost $500,000. I mean, that's pretty damn good for a film that I don't think a lot of people were, asking for a Black Adam film. I mean, I know a lot of people have mentioned they would like to see Black Adam at one point, but at the same time, it's like, it made pretty good money for being a post-COVID film. And two, it's one of the few films that has come out this year that wasn't complete trash. So that's what I don't get. It cracks me up.
And for it to come from DC too, like at that point, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's just like, I mean, Hawkman killed it. The Justice Society, like, without the Justice Society, the film's not as good as it was. It's like basically that simple. I'm pulling up the Andor trailer. For some reason, I don't have it right here. Right in StreamYard for some reason. I don't know if I deleted it accidentally or something or what to make space, but I'm going to screen share it and whatnot and everything because we haven't watched them and played them in a while. So I figured it would be pretty cool to play them.
Awesome.
So I'm pulling them up right now. But no, honestly, this stuff, Cyber and I are gonna definitely have to talk here soon about doing something DC orientated. We haven't even covered or talked about this gun thing at all, really. I'm sure you probably have in your individual content, but I haven't really talked about it at all.
I really haven't mentioned it too much because after that last statement he put out, I kind of was like cracking up. Like, are you serious? What are you getting your pansies wet here or something? Like, it was like the most funniest thing. I was like, really, dude? You're getting upset over some people saying some shit?
Why? What did he get? What did he get upset about?
So everyone's up in arms because he is not using Henry Cavill. He's not using the Black Adam, and he's not using Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
When just 2 weeks ago, they're saying, "Oh yeah, he's coming back. Henry Cavill's coming back as Superman."
I know. That's what I said. My brother was with us last night. Alex and his girlfriend, and basically, I told him before the mid-credit scene or whatever the hell it is there or whatever, I was like, you're going to like this, but it really doesn't matter. It's kind of a moot thing. You know what I mean? You know, because you know, who you're going to see in it is not going to be in the DCU. So it's unfortunate. I'll tell you right now. It's really sad. Isn't that how about the timing with that, right? Like, of all things, for them to do that with that mid-credit scene like that and whatnot and everything, and then literally have him, he's not even going to be Superman anymore.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's why everyone's up in arms, and
just bad timing.
Basically, at the same time, it's just like how what he wrote. It was like almost like he got butthurt, and it just cracks me up. I'm like, dude, grow a pair of balls.
And freaking Cavill totally walked away from The Witcher to be able to, like, didn't he, basically, so that he can invest his time directly into DC and like Warner Brothers and to play Superman and shit and whatnot?
I pretty much think that's the reason why he stepped away from The Witcher.
That's ridiculous, man. It really is. I mean, well, then again, I mean, look, I don't see any point in criticizing Gunn right now. Like, let's see what happens. This is going to be a minute before we figure out what the hell they're going to do. It's not going to happen immediately, but yeah, folks, we're definitely going to cover some DC here soon. And I was thinking about it too, Cyber. We're going to have to go ahead and review Shazam too, because we didn't do Shazam 1.
Yep.
Sorry about that, folks. I'm just trying to pull up I'm trying to pull up the Andor trailers right now real quick and whatnot and everything. But basically, Cyber, real quick, what did you think of episode 8? Just, without like spoiling the entire episode, like, what were your thoughts? I mean, I'm not saying rate it, but
overall, I thought it was entertaining. I feel there was a lot in it that signifies the time of when this is supposed to be taking place. And I think that it had a lot of great, solid moments that were very intriguing and interesting and makes you very excited to see what goes on next.
Yes, I would say so. I would definitely agree with you 100% on that. And we finally saw Forrest Whitaker in the series. That was great. I cannot remember how to pronounce his character's name, but I'll pull it up right now and look. I've got it right here. Let's see here. Here it is. Oh, you know what? They might not have him on the Wikipedia because he's just not being introduced in the series. No, oh no, it'll be at the bottom. Let's see. Forrest Whitaker. He is. I have his name written down on my outline. Saw. Yeah,
Sounds
Saw.
Right.
Saw. Yeah, Saw. 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 He plays Saw Gerrera, a veteran of the Clone Wars and leader of a militant insurgent group, the Partisans. Yes, most definitely. And I can't remember, was Forrest Whitaker in was he in Rogue One?
Yes, he was.
Okay. Yeah, Saw. Yeah, most definitely. It was very interesting. Basically I'm trying to think what the title is of I just wanted to write down the Saw thing. So basically the title, folks, of Andor episode 8 is if I remember correctly, I got it right here somewhere, is the same as the facility that they call it, Narkina 5. Now at the end of episode 7, of course, Cassian basically got picked up and got 6 years basically in prison. When he traveled to the the tropical tourist paradise of Nemos. He's going by the name Keith Gurgo now. And he was unjustly arrested by the stormtroopers and like these robots and shit. And got 6 years of imprisonment. He ends up at Narkina 5. And basically I want to say that just as like, I guess as a premise to start off, like how I kind of like view the episode, I'd say that I could probably understand if some people out there and whatnot that are watched Andor to this level maybe aren't happy with the lack of action a little bit. There definitely isn't any in this episode at all. But what we do get is we get characters back that we haven't seen, right, really much in like the last 2 episodes and whatnot, And they really do a great job of balancing and jumping from scene to scene and from like characters to characters and conversation to conversation throughout the episode. And I really enjoyed the flow of it. I really did. I liked it. It's very serious. You know, I don't know how you would describe Andor or how you do Cyber when you talk to people about it. But the way I tell people is that it's almost like a quasi vibe of like Captain America Winter Soldier in a way, but like without the action, right?
Okay.
You know,
yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, it's got the espionage vibe to it, right? You know,
yeah.
Obviously it's a different trope, right? Than the dichotomy of like you know, a Marvel movie, right? To some extent, it is. That's, you know, it's a different thing, but the vibe, I get it's very for me, and based off my knowledge of Star Wars, to me it's more dramatic. It has a different tone to it, like the oppression of the Empire, as demonstrated by the guards at Nakrina 5, is the same way that they've humanized the Empire people and whatnot, that, you know, that and whatnot and everything, and showed their families and their children and whatnot, and then bullshitting and, you know, actually, like, you know, not just like these evil soulless, you know, whatever creatures. At the same time, they're bringing like a almost like a real terror, like on a psychological level, like a malvalence to like the Empire through episode 8 with these guards. And like the way this facility is ran and whatnot and everything, it's like some straight up fucking Nazi shit, right? With, you know, without the friggin' the furnaces, basically.
Yeah.
But that's what it kind of is, right? It's almost like an internment camp. It's hard labor.
Yeah.
You know, but like high tech.
Yep.
So basically, folks, we're gonna go ahead and screen share real quick here. We're gonna through the miracles of technology. We're gonna do this awesome thing. The extent of my technological knowledge here, being able to screen share. There you go. Oh wait, what am I talking about? I'm tripping over here, folks. I don't need to screen share. I freaking downloaded the trailers. Here they are. There we go. I got it. I'm tripping over here, folks. I'm telling you. You know what it was? It was that video. It was the video playing with the baby leg person dancing and shit and whatnot, and the ladies dancing and whatnot. That threw me off. That's what fucked me up, Cyber.
They're so proud of themselves, so fat and satisfied.
They're everywhere. They're watching me now.
Soon enough, these days will end. There will be no rules going forward.
People are standing up. That's what a reckoning sounds like.
to steal from the Empire? You just walk in like you belong. They're so proud of themselves. So fat and satisfied. They can't imagine that someone like me would ever get inside their house.
Cassian Andor. The Empire is choking us so slowly. We're starting not to notice. What I'm asking is this. Wouldn't you rather give it all to something real? I need all the heroes I can get.
For the greater good.
Call it what you will.
Let's call it war.
There's fermenting out there, son. Pockets of fermenting.
You're in my net. Are you a fish? Or are you a thief? You're slipping.
I'm not slipping. I've just been hiding for too long.
As long as everyone thinks I'm an irritation, there's a good chance they'll miss what I'm really doing.
What are you really doing?
This is what revolution looks like.
I'm tired of losing.
Excellent trailers. Excellent trailers. They really are. They are outstanding. That's the first time I ever saw the teaser. We only ever played the second one before in the past. We never played the teaser. That teaser is pretty good. The second one's better. The music is great. We haven't talked about the music, but the music is really good in those trailers. I like it. The score is good. The score is good in Andor too. That shot in trailer 2 of the rebels on that that planet that they were on, with the heist. That shot of them looking up at that ship coming in is fucking unbelievably epic. It's so simplistic, you know what I'm saying? But it's just fucking epic. The way it's framed with the scale of the ship, how big it is, the bottom part of it and whatnot, it's freaking awesome. I love it. Basically, so Cyber, we talked about the trailers just briefly before in the past and whatnot, and just briefly right now. What do you think now that we're 8 episodes into this, and what are they, 12 altogether?
Correct.
So what do you think about the trailers now that we've had digested this much of the season?
I mean, honestly, they haven't changed at all for me. I enjoyed them from the get-go, from when we first watched them, when they first came out. And just as much as they did then, they are very enjoyable, great music, great quality, and gave you a nice little taste of what Andor is about.
Yes. The tone of them is even very serious. It really is. And we noticed that too. I remember right from jump when we watched them, that there was that tone. So basically, I guess, I was I was waiting to try to see if Jassem would pop up before I really launched into episode 8, but that's okay. We'll go ahead and get started. So basically, the only thing I'll say with the trailers is simply that I just think they're very impressive. I mean, trailers are really good in general. Every year they seem to almost get better. Those trailers, as far as I'm concerned, are the best, essentially the best Star Wars trailers I've ever seen myself personally. Not that I've seen all of them or whatever, but so bottom line, the way things start off with Andor episode 8 is that we actually do see essentially the with Andor episode 8 is that sorry about that, folks. Basically what we do actually see is we see the facility as they call it, the prison essentially, or the like, if everyone, the forced labor camp type place where they're at, where Cassian's sent to, that's called essentially, Karina 5 or excuse me, Narkina 5. And basically the way that things start off is that essentially like Cassian is being like facilitated or like moved from like a hub, right, to the actual facility, which is in the water, right? Isn't it, Cyber, in the ocean or some shit?
Well, they go to a whole new planet.
Okay, yeah, they do. They do. They go to the whole new planet because he jumps into that actual spaceship at that one point.
Correct.
Yes, and so basically he's ferried over there to the facility, and at one point he's with a fellow, soon to be fellow inmate, and they literally get to the facility, and the guy says to him, enjoy that fresh air. It might be the last time you ever taste it or have it or whatever and whatnot. And I thought to myself, wow, like that's some serious shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, holy shit. Like this place obviously is no joke, clearly. And basically, at first, the way things start off, it doesn't come off all that intense. It's not all that menacing at first, it's just kind of almost not boring, but kind of like, again, Cassian is until he actually shows up there at the actual facility, at that point, does it really, do we meet the guards and whatnot and everything later on and whatnot and actually get the gist of what the hell's going on in this place? But before that, going back to episode 7, we've now seen Deidre basically end up getting her dues paid, right, by the Empire, like by the council or whatever, whatnot and everything. She's been heard, and they basically put her in charge of whatever the hell is going on right now with the rebels, and she's convinced them that what happened at the heist, as she said in her own words, was an announcement. It wasn't just a one-off, right? And you have to remember, this is a prequel to Rogue One. So this is 5 years before then. And this is what, Cyber, 100 years before the actual original Star Wars films? You're muted.
No, I don't think it was 100 years prior. I think maybe more like 60, maybe 60, 70 years, I think.
Okay. Either way, it's a long time. And this is essentially like basically almost like the baby, the start of the rebellion almost, essentially, I believe, right? Isn't it essentially like this is kind of like what the fomenting of it, like, that establishes what we end up with when we get the original Star Wars films. So, right? I mean, isn't it?
I mean, basically, this is more of like the starting point for them starting to move the rebels into place to basically get, to get the Empire onto their knees. Basically, they've been doing, doing that. They've been working on getting to that point where they could take the Empire out, basically. Prior to this, the rebels have kind of always been around since the end of Revenge of the Sith. So they started kind of forming around that time with the Jedis that were left over, the people that believed in the Jedis and stuff like that. So this was kind of a slow progression, and to basically get to the point where they can take out the Empire is basically what this is. It's the start of that, being able to take them out.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously you can see that they're not as formidable like as a actual alliance, like, what I'm saying, as what we get later on in the Star Wars universe in terms of like what the rebels have. And like when we get to the original films, they actually have their own military and whatnot, and they have their own like space fleet and shit and all that kind of stuff, right? Look where they're at now. This is almost like the ground level, right? It's almost like an insurgency.
Mm-hmm.
to some extent, right? Hit and run tactics and shit and whatnot. It's all strategic and whatnot, right? Like, you know, as opposed to like actual full on assault and type stuff. But basically, what I'm finding is that I'm loving the way that they decided to basically, I guess if you want to say, kind of almost hold off on Deidre's character in the series in a way, until later on in the episode. And we didn't really see her until I think episode 3 or episode 4. They minimalized her role. It's grown from episode to episode to some extent, but even in episode 8, she doesn't really have that many scenes, and they're very short. She's very direct and they're very brief. Like there's no fucking around whenever you see her on screen. If you notice that, Cyber, it's very streamlined, right?
Yeah.
Everything is you know, everything with her with the Empire. She's a very direct, you know, black and white. Like, you know, you can see why she's believable there and whatnot and everything. Like she, you know, she's like, you know, she's a very respectable fucking, you know, imperial fucking officer. She's no Cyril Karn, right? She wouldn't have freaking like, you know, turned into a little bitch or whatever during the Ferrex deal and whatnot and everything. Like she would have been down there instead of Cyril. She would have done it up.
Yep.
You know, she ain't Cyril. But either way, thank God they decided to spare us with the Cyril and his mother bullshit to start the episode. That was nice that we didn't have to deal with that dynamic. No, I'm just joking. I don't mind it. But basically, so as I was saying, you know, Deidre tells the council, you know, that you know, this is an announcement, and essentially, you know, after we get Cassian actually, like, you know, getting to you know, Nakira 5, we then see Cyril at his new job that his uncle got him, right? I mean, he's worse for the Empire still. He's, you know, everything basically. The Empire is like a big corporation, and kind of, you know, everything is almost like a subsidiary to them. So now he's just lower level. That's all. Like, you know, he's working at like basically like almost like a fucking collection center or some shit, like, you know, some data crap or whatever. And from jump, he's already bitching at like the demotion of his job and whatnot and everything, right? And he's still pissed off about Cassian and dwelling on that, which is going to end up coming back and like coming to fruition in some way. I know it. Whether it's in season 2 or some shit or something's going to happen with that, where, you know, he's going to go Ronin and shit or whatever real quick, like Hawkeye. You know what I'm saying? Or who knows what? I don't know, but something's going to happen. So Cyber, you know, before we get to the actual, you know, meeting of the guards and whatnot and everything, we do have this again, this meeting with the, you know, what I'm calling the council essentially, but what it is like the security board or whatever and whatnot, for the Empire and whatnot and everything, right? And basically, what we end up having is a very almost brief discussion and conversation with Deidre where they see Cassian Andor as the link, like the one main element that can link them directly to the rebels. Like they know that he met with someone, you know, and I believe they found the smuggled goods that he was going to sell Luthen, right? Didn't they? Yep. They did. That scares them because they're like, oh shit, you know, well, you know, they're like the rebels have gear, they have shit like this, you know what I mean, like, you know, whatnot and everything. It's becoming clear that this is that like, you know, Deidre is on something. This is some serious shit to them now, and they're going full out like, we got to find this Cassian Andor. It's on, like we're gonna get him. So you know, at that point, right from jump, the tone is set that they're going to be trying to find Cassian. But again, this is the Empire. Who knows how long it takes to figure out that you know, you've got somebody in one of your fucking prisons. You know, this is space, bitch. You know, where there are no statute of limitations sexually with Klingons, right? With Klingons, the age of consent is 12. Yeah, with the Klingon race. But no, I'm just joking. But I don't actually know that. I don't know that truthfully, Cyber. I only fuck with the Tuskens, not the Klingons.
We're not talking about Star Trek, but okay.
just a little cross connection, a little cross reference there. So Cyber, doing things out of order. What did you think? What do you think of Deidre? And what did you think of that council meeting and everything and whatnot? And then what we just talked about in those opening scenes in terms of Cyril and the preemptive part of the getting to of Cassian's to what's going to be his his imprisonment facility and whatnot and everything. What did you think of all that? What did you take out of that council meeting and whatnot and everything? And what do you think of the impact also, if you don't mind, of Deidre? Like I was kind of mentioning, as far as how they've handled her in the series.
Well, I'm not a big fan of Deidre. I don't think she's anything that great. She seems like your typical, Empire stooge lackey type of person, and they just threw it in there to give us a, basically a woman version versus a man version. And so I feel that, she's basic. She's nothing that great. And the beginning sequence, I enjoyed watching Cassian being thrown into gone to Nanak 5 to be put into prison. I thought that was really cool. And then this sequence came up with Cyril, Deidre, and that kind of that council type of thing there. And that was, I felt, was kind of the boring part for me for this episode. I didn't think it was anything that great. It seemed like very typical of the same ones we've already seen the last couple episodes. And I didn't think it did really any significance, other than kind of giving you a gateway to what we were going to foresee later on in the episode. And I thought that, it was pretty basic, nothing that great. And, him, the one head guy there kind of keeps siding with her and stuff like that kind of annoys me. Like, why all of a sudden are you siding with this chick all the time now? Like, that just seems weird. You're taking words from this person who seems to have not been there as long as some of these other people, but yet you're overstepping those people to go to her. So I feel there's more behind Deidre than meets the eye still. I think further down the line, I feel we're going to see something else about her. That's kind of my feeling about her. But other than that, I thought that the scenes were pretty basic and just, helped the episode move on some.
So you don't think that she's actually like a inside agent or whatnot, with the rebellion or something like that? Do you?
No.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure.
Hell no.
Okay.
No.
All right. So
no, I think that she has her own agenda in the Empire.
I see. So almost like in contrast to Cyril. Like, what I'm saying? She has an agenda. It's just not like as like fucking like childish and like, and like impatient as Cyril's was, right?
Well, see, I don't find Cyril impatient. I find Cyril wanting to get justice for what he feel he was negated, that he was, unfortunately taken out without real proper cause. And I see Cyril as, I feel there's more to him too that meets the eye as well. When it comes to his character, I feel we're going to see him unfold more as the episodes go on as well, and not just being kind of like that bitch kind of character. And I think that he's just getting started with what he's really going to do. I think he's going to be kind of like a General Hux from the new films that they made, where he's going to become kind of a big thing eventually. Just we've seen him kind of go from being kind of in it, losing out, and then building to the top again, is what I feel is going to happen with him.
Okay. I think that I mean, obviously we do see later on in the episode that like Cyril finally sort of like nuts up later on, and we'll talk about that later on, as we move through the episode. But he does kind of nut up finally. And we do get like a breakout moment and whatnot, where we finally see him like kind of like, stand up for himself and like actually show some passion that's like real. Like he's not fucking around for once and whatnot. And like, you know, I think that basically his own mother is what's made him so cynical, right? That's what I've taken from their conversations, is that cynicism and whatnot and everything and whatnot is like, it has infected him. And that's why he's the way he is. The mother is the one that caused him to become like the little bitch he is and whatnot and everything. You know what I'm saying? The way that she like degrades him and whatnot and everything and pesters him constantly and shit. So in a way, I guess I do kind of understand now why they focused on those conversations, because it tells you about it. It gives you an inflection on Karn's character and the reasoning for why he does certain things, you know, and all that and whatnot. So from that standpoint, I see the connection now. I do, which I do like that. And I think that it's really, really cool that this episode was 54 minutes long, I believe. And again, there's not one single action scene in the whole episode, but it's still fucking great, folks. Like, it's a great episode. Anybody out there that tells you that the Andor Disney Plus series fucking sucks is a goddamn delusional fool. Because seriously, like, you're at that point, you're about as credible as that one asshole that said that Endgame sucked, right? Like, you know, the one fucking guy I met on like Stereo app or some shit when I realized I should get off there. When I met some dude on there that literally told me that all the Avengers films were garbage. I was like, bro, you fucking retarded. You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously? Are you goddamn kidding me? Like, I'm telling you right now, I've never heard anybody in my life say anything like that before. Are you stupid? Like, what are you talking? Did you even see him? Like, what did you see? Did you see like the Whitney Houston Whitney Houston version of the Avengers films or something? Like, I mean, what happened here? But no, so basically, I get where you're going, Cyber. I do. You're saying that you're basically just saying the character herself, Deidre's character, is like flat. It's just not impressive. It's not the actress or anything like that. Whatnot. She's just doing her job.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen this gal in anything else, so I couldn't tell you how good her acting is or not. But she's definitely doing a good job of being that stereotypical Empire stooge. Most definitely.
Yes, you got to give her credit for that. She's when it comes to that angle, she actually does represent, and like, you know what I'm saying, and she fulfills that well. She does play that role well. And of course, she is. I think she's actually pretty talented. Her name is Denise Gough, Gough. I think it's Go or Gaw. She plays Deidre Moreau, and she, of course, is a supervisor for the Imperial Security Bureau. Now, basically, as we go through the episode, we're going to end up, seeing scenes where they're going to be spliced in with Val Bartha that are really not all that important, but they are, they're still interesting. They're not, they're just not like, massive, anything massive and whatnot and everything. And essentially, we're also going to see, returning back, from the rebels. We're actually going to see, if I remember her, if I can figure out what her name is, who is the character that's, was the leader of the rebels underneath Luthen?
Val.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we get Val, and basically, we get her partner or her lover, the other rebel, who I'm looking up right now. I should have pulled this up. Who? On the wrong damn laptop, Cyber. Come on, man. I gotta stop smoking crack. There we go.
I would agree there. You should stop smoking that.
I know. And you know what? And 5 o'clock, the 5 o'clock pre-class special was like 5 hours ago. So you'd think I'd be straight. Like, I mean, crack's not exactly well known for its like its long lasting effects, right? So, I don't know what the deal is, man. Maybe it's like an interaction with some of my medications or something. The crack, it's possible. So either way, we do get we get Val, And we also get you know, her partner, who is, let's see, the actress, not the actress, but the character. Where the hell is she? Pain in the ass, I'm telling you. Pissing me off. Where's her damn name? I'm telling you, folks, I've got to be more prepared here. This is not very professional. There we go. All right. So, anyways, from the Rebels, the young woman who is Val's sort of love interest or whatever, whatnot, that actually got left behind because there was no room on the transport when they did the you know, the actual heist. And at that point, if I can find her stupid name really quick, she is let's see. Oh, you know what? I swear to God, sorry, this shit is driving me fucking crazy. I'm finding the wrong shit here. Here we go. I got it.
What are you having a hard time there with?
No, I got it. I got it. Okay.
Maybe not switch computers.
No. I got it. She is let's see. I'm gonna find her. Oh, the hell with it. I'm telling you right now, this is driving me fucking nuts. I'll move on. It's later in the episode anyway. It doesn't matter. It'll come up. No, so basically, what ends up happening after we get done with the meeting of the actual Security Council and whatnot and everything is we do get to the actual facility, as the guards refer to it and whatnot and everything, the labor camp where Cassian essentially is going to be imprisoned, and you know, they describe it as, I believe, a labor facility to him, you know, and so at that point, we get here at Nakrina 5, we're introduced to the guards, and basically they're not like necessarily menacing or sinister looking or really all that. The vibe isn't like that, but they're very, very, very like upfront and very like, you know, corporate and very empire like and whatnot and everything, and very you know, imperialistic, and you know, make it very clear, you know, when the guy tells them, you know, you're probably wondering why we don't have weapons. Well, they shocked them from jump, all of like, you know, the new inmates and whatnot, through their boots because of the floors. You know, the floors are Tuscan or whatever, whatnot and everything. And so at that point, all the guards need is these little remote controls and whatnot, and they can basically just like they can submit any of the inmates at any given time if they want. There's 3 levels. They gave them a taste of level 1. And right there, they introduce what's going to be a repeating and repetitive dynamic here that I only can only really relate to, like, you know, communist or socialist or Marxist regimes in a way, and like the Nazis and how they would like operate and run concentration camps so very efficiently and, you know, effectively and whatnot, with their own staff and their own security and whatnot and everything and that kind of shit. Basically, Cyber, just, you know, before we even get into getting, you know, what it's like when he actually, you know, is introduced to the facility itself, and all that, what do you think of this switch in this vibe and whatnot in the series, where suddenly now we're jumping from the heist and the height of that, right, in the eye in episode 6, to where now we've actually got Cassian fucking imprisoned? I mean, wow, like what a shift.
I mean, I wouldn't consider that too shifty. I kind of foresaw Cassian ended up in jail for some odd reason, even if it was like a little jail or big jail or whatever like that. I foresee him being in jail at some point just because of what happened at the beginning of the series where, you know, he killed those 2 guys. So, I mean, I had a feeling that we were going to get something like this. I just didn't know when or where, like if the series was going to end with that or the series was going to happen like in the middle or something. I don't feel that it really veered or anything like that. I'm not shocked. And what a better way to show, which to me, particularly when we get into that sequence there, I feel they're working on the Death Star. But at the same time, the things that they're building totally, it makes sense to me why they would want to capture people and have them go to jail for no particular reason.
Most definitely. And basically, as far as the rebels go, and the character that I was like stumbling as to, mentioning her name and whatnot and everything, that is actually like Belle's lover that got left behind during the heist. I still didn't damn find her. You gotta be kidding me. Oh, so anyways, no. So basically right after that, we do get actually introduced into the facility and whatnot. And we get almost a quick intake, if you want, where basically, we are introduced to the guards, all the different guards, basically, and it's explained to Cassian already now that he's here to work. And the guards make it clear, the lead guard, when he kind of gives his little speech to all the other prisoners, that basically, they're here to fucking like get after it. Like they're expecting them to like seriously fucking work. They're here for labor, hard labor, and like whether or not they how they do it, this bitch is going to be based off of how they perform and how productive they are. And we'll get into that and how that all plays out. But right at the bat, we automatically basically get Cassian getting introduced, I believe, to his table and his table mates, like his team, his squad. There's a really quick introductions. I can't remember the people's names. I didn't write them down. We'll flush them out. I don't know how long they're going to be in the series, but basically really quick, they throw him right into the works. Right at the bat, he's on the floor, right? They bring him in, and from jump, all of the inmates all have their hands behind their backs at all times when they're not working. When they're lined up in formation or whatnot, or whatever you want to call it, whatnot, they're always at that resting position where they have their hands behind their heads. There's like this threatening presence almost. And that's what I was kind of talking about, Cyber, before the show, about how this place is run. It's almost like a machine. You know what I'm saying? Like, along with along with the menacing, torturous, type, behavior of like the facility and the guards. But basically, we get before we get introduced to Kiro Loy and Andy Serkis and whatnot and everything, right? And we actually, it's explained how things kind of go down here at the facility. We do actually get the scene where we get Cyril Karn being interviewed about Cassian Andor. Now, this is, again, based off of what we saw in the beginning, where they are really now directly investigating and looking to find Cassian Andor. They're interviewing, Karn, and it's not Deidre, but it's actually, a female Imperial officer that interviews him and basically kind of dismisses him and doesn't really give a shit, doesn't really think he's all that valuable or useful. Well, I mean, they get information from him. He tells them.
No, that was Deidre. That was Deidre.
That was her?
Deidre. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That was her. Okay. Yeah. So that was Deidre then. I couldn't tell. Deidre basically, he gives her, all the best information he can give her as far as what he saw of Cassian on Ferris and whatnot and everything, right? Describes his outfit and, what he looks like and whatnot and all that, right? But he doesn't really have much to give, and at that point, where I was going is that you can kind of tell from Deidre's attitude that she kind of sees, Cyril as kind of a little bitch, right? I mean, obviously, what happened with his little bullshit in Ferris didn't, play so well. And so at that point, he nuts up and like talks back to Deidre, who's like, way up the food chain compared to him in the Empire, and flat out stands up for himself and says like, hey, I solved the fucking case of 2 guards being killed in 2 days and found the culprit of the murders and whatnot and everything, right? Like, I was mistreated by the Empire, and this, Deidre has no kind words or no like, doesn't give a shit really, or, no forgiveness to give. She actually warns him and basically tells him straight up, forget this ever happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, like seriously, and even threatens him at one point and tells him, straight up, like, you're lucky you're talking to me. You could be talking to somebody else. And so at that point, I don't know where that, this is how this is going to impact Serial down the road. But she tells him to let this go flat out. She's like, you need to just forget about Cassian Andor and stop fucking bothering, externally trying to like be involved in this shit and whatnot and everything. Cause he actually tries to enlist and sells himself as being valuable and useful in finding Cassian. Now, shit's getting serious with the Empire at this point. And at the facility, we get Cassian. He's jumpsuited up and everything now. And basically, we are introduced to Andy Serkis's character. He's another inmate. He's Kiro Loy. Now, he runs the floor and runs the shift, the 12-hour shift, the day shift at the facility. And it explains to him, he's very, very serious and very stern. He actually reminds me of the guards in a way, just differently. And tells him straight up, like, I've got 249 days left in my sentence. And, basically, if you do shit right, God bless you, and don't fuck around, I should get the fuck out of here. So I can't be having any bullshit. And he's extremely stern. He ain't playing around. Like this is the most fucking serious, like, character I've ever seen Andy Serkis play, ever. Like, he is stark and like legit in this one. There's no playing around with him at all. This is not like Claw in the MCU at all. And again, he's an inmate. Mm-hmm. And that, I think that really, that gives you a signal in the audience. It really shows you the tone of this fucking place. When this is an inmate, right, running the floor, this is the way he's like talking to Cassian. At that point, basically, Cassian does meet his table mates, and they're kind of bullshitting and whatnot while working, and he's kind of like watching and learning and trying to kind of like come on board or whatnot and participate in the team. And Cyber, what were they basically constructing? I couldn't really tell. Could you? Were they parts?
They're parts for something. And like I said, my first thought was they're working on something for the Death Star. That's what they're working on.
You're saying that because of the Death Star, they would need mass amounts of like these small parts and whatnot. Everything. The Death Star is massive. So
the Death Star is like the size of a planet. So.
Oh, well, at that point, then strategically at that point, it would behoove them to just incarcerate random fucking people and throw them into these work camps and shit and whatnot. No wonder they fucking get Cassian and whatnot for no fucking reason in episode 7. Cyber, it all connects now. I'm seeing the light here, brother. I'm getting it. The direction that why they would be doing this. Because I was trying to figure out the premise of all that after episode 7. Like, why did they even fucking arrest him anyway? What did he do? Like, he didn't do shit. He was just walking fucking down the beach or whatever, whatnot, right? And so maybe as a reaction to the heist and Deidre and whatnot and everything, this is the premise for the Death Star to some extent, or causes them to feel an expediency in developing and building it, like pushes the schedule on it, right? We'll have to see. That's actually very interesting, Cyber. And again, it'd be nice to know the actual timeline, Star Wars wise, in terms of like where this lays before the original films. But either way, coming off of Cassian meeting his table, we go to Valbartha on Coruscant with her husband, and she's also with the character, I can't remember his name, that she met previously that was to you know, and had spoken to Luthen about, that was going to be, you know, basically helping her funnel money or move money for the rebels. And she's there. She's at this event basically, and she's pressing the flesh and shit and whatnot. Right? This is a charity event. She's trying to garner political support and votes and whatnot and everything. Right? Because of, like, you know, the fact that what she's known for in, like, the Senate or whatever and whatnot and everything is her charitable goods and her, like, desire to, like, you know, pass bills and whatnot, everything having to do with, you know, humanitarian pursuits, you know, and typical of the husband, he, you know, is like, well, I'm fucking out of here because this is my deal. And at that point, we get Vel again having a conversation with this new player that, you know, she's brought in, who is going to be helping her, you know, try to move money. And basically what I took from the conversation essentially was just that it's tough right now with the Empire. It's very difficult to, like, to, you know, move large sums of money or purchase certain things and whatnot and everything without the Empire's eye attracting attention to that, to the, you know, to those type of things, those events happening. And so, Cyber, what did you think of all that? You know, however order you want to take, you know, approach it. What were your thoughts on that? I guess what I would say would be the end of the first third of the episode and then going into, like, the second third.
Okay. So basically, like, everything, so basically going from the interrogation of Cyril up to meeting Andy Serkis.
Yes.
Okay. I mean,
into Andy Serkis and everything too. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, my thoughts on that, like, the interrogation scene was pretty basic. I thought it was pretty well done. I didn't mind it. I thought it really showed Cyril's character, kind of his development and how he's grown since we first met him, and kind of, you know, giving him more of a spotlight compared to what we, you know, got him in the last couple episodes, where it was very brief. So we got a little bit more with him, I feel, and we got to see him actually have some fight in him when he's talking to Deidre. And kind of how, like, Deidre basically, I feel, once again, she's that, you know, typical Empire stooge, but at the same time, it's like, you know, like they all do, like, I don't give a crap about you and blah, blah, blah. Do this and don't defy me kind of ideal, you know, where she really has no heart or anything like that. So she's playing it perfectly with how I feel an Empire stooge would be. So I think that she did a good job in that sequence and giving us, you know, that very much typical Empire person. As we progress on and we, you know, basically are kind of given kind of a tour of the new facility that Andor will be staying at, that shocking collar scene was really fun. I thought they did a good job with that, giving us an idea of, you know, how serious this place is. I mean, it looks very space station-y, you know, Space Odyssey type of look. It makes me think of, you know, pretty much any Star Wars film, any Star Trek film that has, like, a prison in it. Really, any space adventure movie that has, like, a prison in it, even Guardians of the Galaxy and so forth. That's very similar. It's like, you know, kind of like a gulag. And it's definitely, like, very sophisticated looking. It looks definitely something that the Empire would have built, you know, very clean looking, very sterile looking and everything like that. And then the introduction to Andy Serkis, I was so happy to finally get to see Andy Serkis. I think he's fantastic. Absolutely love this dude. He is so amazing, from his portrayal of Gollum to his motion capture for Kong and the 2005 King Kong film, to his performance in King Kong as well, as one of the adventurers with, you know, Jack Black and Naomi Watts and stuff like that. He was really awesome. You know, to his, you know, Claw portrayal in Black Panther 1 and, of course, in Avengers Age of Ultron. I mean, this guy is just awesome. I think he's done a great job at pretty much everything he does. He's always fun to listen to. He's always fun to watch act. In any performance he does, I feel, even when it's really just him, he is really amazing. And so him being introduced finally, I was like I said, I was like standing there watching it going, yes, Andy Serkis. And I was like, this is awesome. And I loved his characterization of this character being this, hardened prisoner that's been there a long time, has only a certain amount of days left. You're going to do what I tell you so that I get out of here on time, bitch. Basically, as I feel how he said it. And I loved it. I thought it was perfect. I thought it was really well done. I think the character is really interesting and really developed. And I think Andy's doing a great job of portraying it. And, as that whole section moved on, we saw like the process and, basically, Andy telling him exactly, what he's going to do. He goes over to the table, is introduced to all those guys. And then you see he's watching the process of what's going on. And like I said, when I first saw that, I'm like, what the hell are they assembling? And at the same time, I'm like, holy shit, I think this is stuff for the Death Star, because it's the exact same color as the Death Star looks in the original movies. And I was like, what else would, they be building? And I'm thinking it's at this time that the Death Star is supposed to be constructed. So I'm like, they are stealing people, making them go to jail so they can use them as a workforce to build this station. I'm like, what a clever idea. This is awesome. I'm like, I would not think of anything less than the Empire of doing something like this, to build their machine than to make people build it for them. That's exactly how the Empire would work, I feel. And I love how, I don't think we mentioned this, but I love that we've heard the name Palpatine a few times throughout the series so far.
Yes.
Because he was a big part of this section because he was Emperor at the time. And so I think, this is definitely something that Palpatine would have thought of for them to do, to take people off the street and put them in jail so that they could build their shit. So I think that's perfect. And I thought that whole sequence was awesome. I loved the whole atmosphere. I loved the look of the jail. That whole working system was so cool. The CGI work was so well done.
Yeah.
I just really enjoyed that whole sequence.
Yeah, I did too. I did too. And basically, we at this point we don't see Luthen yet. Again, he's not very present in this episode. But what we do end up seeing, Sintes is the chick that got left behind during the heist and whatnot. Now we get a scene later on. I can't remember exactly where in the chronological order of the episode it occurs. It's not, again, what's flushed out in it is not all that pivotal in terms of like the series and whatnot and everything. But essentially, we do see Val. Sintes has gotten off world and she's reconnected with Val, right? And essentially, Cyber, you tell me. I really wasn't sure what to take from that conversation that they had and whatnot. Like, what was it even about? I mean, what were they? I really wasn't even. I don't know if I took my eye off it for a minute or whatnot and everything. But was any of it really all that substantial or important?
No, not really. It was kind of just filler. It was filler for the episode to kind of give you an idea of what their relationship is and kind of to give you an idea where Val and that character are at, with the situation after the heist went on. And, basically Val is kind of lost, and so is her significant other. And basically that whole conversation was, Val basically trying to get her partner there to basically run off with her and let's forget everything, basically. And so the partner is like, no, I can't. We're in this to the end. Yeah. And that's pretty much what that little scene was. It was filler and a little bit of information into their relationship.
Yes, and that's what Val did tell her. She says, she basically says, I told you from jump, we're in it to win it here with the rebels. Like, we ain't fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're sticking with the cause. We ain't bouncing. So there's almost like there's almost like unrelenting tension at times. That's very, very subliminal and very, very not like on the surface during multiple scenes throughout this episode. It's a current, but it's very soft. Like I said, it's not menacing, right? It's not terrorizing. It's not right in your face. It's almost like it's just it's a tone that's there of something building. And I did get that from episode 8. Maybe another person might review this and say, this is just a suppositional episode, right? Or a filler episode, right? It's not. Again, it's a pacing episode. It's leading to something, right? We're going up and down in pace throughout the series, which I think is important. I think balance like that is an important thing, right? Cyber, I mean, depending on what type of series you're making, it can be everything. Look at some of the Marvel Disney Plus, series we reviewed, and how big of an impact on uneven pacing from episode to episode and whatnot and everything, right? And a loss of momentum, right, during certain episodes, sets of episodes and whatnot during series, how that's impacted them in a detrimental standpoint. I've felt at times, just like you have as well. Where filler episodes in some of those MCU series can be like rough to like the energy of the series almost. And I think that I'll tell you, I would love to have a conversation with more of like a hardcore Star Wars fan and get their thoughts on Andor how let them articulate to me what this means to them to see this version. Like, do they like it? Do they dislike it? Like, does this take away from the typical trope that many Star Wars fans love? Is it too serious? Like, is it too is it too dramatic? But hey, again, this reflects to Rogue One, and anyone who's seen Rogue One knows that Rogue One maybe doesn't have the same tone as a series, but it's very much a similar type of vibe, very dramatic, very epic and meaningful, passionate. It's not fake. And I feel like, Cyber, you tell me, I think one of the coolest parts about this series for me so far is the fact that we're seeing this almost, prequel type series where this is setting in motion this tone, events that we know very well from the Star Wars universe that occurred 3+ decades ago, right? It ties into it. It does. And you got to give them credit, right? For handling that and whatnot and everything, right? And going in this direction. I think this is better than the Mandalorian, personally. I do. I do. I'm sorry, but that's just me. And again, folks out there, don't take this the wrong way. If you love the Mandalorian and whatnot and everything, I like it too. But that's more of a lighthearted show. This is more up my alley. If you like the House of the Dragon and shit like that and whatnot, this is your kind of Star Wars. So basically, back to Narkina 5. Now, essentially, on Narkina 5, we actually do get, Cassian having it flushed out to him what exactly it is that they're doing here. I mean, he's not told specifically what we're making or this is, trained or anything like that and whatnot. Like, this is how to do this, do that. It's just basically explained to him how things work on the floor, what the expectations are by the guards and by Andy Serkis's character, in terms of what their expectations are. And it's made clear that although this flushes out towards the end of the episode completely, it's made clear from jump that there is a almost a competition, and if you want to call it that, on the floor between the tables, where depending on who does well, what on each shift, the top dog gets something good for it, and the bottom dog actually gets like fucking abused and shit and whatnot, and like fucking shocked and shit and everything and whatnot for it and whatnot. Like, that's what they get. So there's like some serious shit going on here at this facility. They ain't playing. This is some sadistic shit going on. And you know, we go back and forth between there for a while between the facility and Valvartha's conversation. Again, the Valvartha stuff, it's very much just, it is just kind of filler. It's just politicking and whatnot and everything, right? And her like knob-jobbing and whatnot with politicians and whatnot on Coruscant and shit and all that. There's nothing all that prescient occurring, really all that much, you know. And basically, what we end up, you know, having is, again, we do get the scene there with Val then. And basically, we get Vix back. We get Vix back in the series. And we go back to Ferrix, and you know, the same characters from episode 1 are there, essentially. And the Empire's back. The security forces are back. Except this time it's actual stormtroopers and shit and whatnot. And they're there for her. Now, if I'm correct, Cyber, before that happens, we actually get the scenes we do at that point with Luthen, right? At the shop, where it's established that Vix is in the rebellion, and that he's been communicating back and forth with her.
Yes.
Through that tunnel and shit and whatnot. And then they decide at his shop, Luthen and his assistant, who's also a member of the Rebels, of course, and is pretty hardcore herself. She actually suggests to him that it would be a good idea to kill the line, essentially, with the communication to Bix down on, you know, on Ferrix. Now, at that point, they do, and Bix realizes, she's on the other end and realizes, oh shit, they've cut off communication with us. Now, this is because they're feeling the heat from the Empire. And, you know, so at that point, you know, we don't get much of Luthen at that point. It's kind of a short scene, but basically, what we're seeing is the ramifications of the siege are serious. Like, the Empire's fucking pissed. Like, they're not playing around. They're like taking this very seriously. And at that point, you know, again, we have Narkina 5, where basically where we're shown by, again, one of the other inmates. Cassian is shown his quarters, his cell, and kind of like what his everyday life is going to be like. And at that point, you know, basically they eat like a paste through a tube. Like, that's how they're fed. It's like, you know, some straight gruel shit, you know, and essentially, we get a scene where we do get Cassian's mom back in the show, and we do get B, you know, 3PO, whatever the hell his name is or whatever. Let me pull up real quick and I'll remember his name. We always forget it. B2EMO.
Yeah.
Yes. So we get a scene where essentially it appears that basically you know, Marva, or how do you pronounce it, Cyber? Fiona Shaw's character?
Maeve.
Maeve, it appears, is sick. She's ill. She's coughing. I'm not sure exactly what's wrong with her, but she's being attended to medically and whatnot and everything, right? And you know, and basically, again, it's sort of a filler scene. There's nothing all that intense or impactful happening, really, besides the fact that she is sick. So, you know, we know that now. That's flushed out kind of like in the scene that she's sick. And you know, at that point, we basically go again back and forth. You know, we went from Luthen shutting down communication with Vix, you know, on Ferrix, you know, and we had the scene with Cassie's mom. At the same time, we're going with Valvartha for a minute or two, for 3 minutes or whatever. And the whole time we're going back to, you know, the actual prison, the facility. And, at that point, before we get to Forrest Whitaker's role, basically, what we sort of end up with is Andor Cassian meets Melshi, as a part of the crew. And this article says that in the prison, they're building cogs. And yes, Cyber, this is from The Ringer. But would it shock anyone if Andor and Melshi were assembling pieces of the Death Star, Cyber? There you go. So they're saying it too. Ha ha ha. And basically, essentially, we end up with Vel and Cinta spying on Bix, possibly in a position to rescue her. And essentially, what we end up happening is, the Empire shows up at Ferrix and they want Bix. Miro meets Bix. And later on in the episode, and basically, bottom line, Vix takes off. She runs. And of course, what's his name? Cassian's buddy there and her friend there that they, that works there. I forget his name. He basically, kind of like obstructs and helps her run. And, so we know now at this point, like we basically Cyber assumed, right, from the beginning that we knew Bix was in the rebellion. That was clear. We kind of had the idea that what was going down with her, right? So before we get into
yes, sir.
Yeah, before we get into the Forrest Whitaker scene and his character, what did you take from the Val Bartha scenes? Was there anything that stood out to you with any of that, or was it just kind of whatever to you, like it was to me? What did you get out of the Luthen scene at his shop? Where on Coruscant, where essentially, he has to decide to kill off the communication to Bix. And what are your thoughts on the fact that Bix is in the rebellion? We know that for sure now. And what do you could you explain? Did they point out? Did you notice, or what do you believe? What was the reasoning for Luthen to have the ability to communicate with Bix to begin with? Is she kind of like running the operation for the rebels there on Ferrix?
Well, yeah, she's definitely probably running it to a certain extent on that planet. Most definitely, I feel that she's kind of like the head honcho there, because with the sequences with Maeve, you could tell Maeve was originally in charge, but I think Bix has kind of taken over because Maeve has gotten older.
Yes,
and so I definitely think that she is like the commanding officer there on that planet, and that's why Lutheran has been in contact with her and why he's been communicating with her, because he's been there. That I feel that place is kind of like the main central hub right now for the rebels that are trying to do what they need to do. So I think that definitely is why there was that secret communication between them too. So the sequence with Lutheran and Forrest Whitaker's character was phenomenal. I absolutely loved that sequence. It was so good, so amazing. Both acted in it so super well.
Saw Gerrera.
Okay, Saw Gerrera. That's Forrest Whitaker's character. And I thought they did a fantastic job. I loved how, Lutheran kind of said, I see myself as a coward, and I see myself, this and that. And I'm just like, at least you're honest about it. At least you confessed up to it, and, that you're doing it how you want to do it. And I think that was really noble. And I think that was showing real class, that he knows his faults, but at the same time, he's using those faults to an advantage. And I think that was a great kind of sequence there, that conversation between them, and how it ended up was really fun, because later on, as we saw in Rogue One, Saw ends up becoming a part of this whole coup. So
Yes.
we know that he took it to heart, and which is a really good sign, showing you what kind of instilled it into him to want to participate. So I thought they did a really good job with that. I'm sorry, what was the other question?
Yes. Now basically, it's Bix that is concerned about Maeve's health before she ends up being grabbed by the Empire, because she does end up getting grabbed. Right after we meet Saw in the series, she does get grabbed by the Empire. She doesn't get away. And just to be clear, I just wanted to point out really quick that I thought this was kind of important. There is actually a inmate that we see in the episode with Cassian, and he's in Rogue One. And he is, let's see here. Right here. Duncan Powell is the actor. He plays Ruskat Melshi. And Melshi is a labor worker and inmate at the Imperial factory facility on Narkina 5, who later joined the Rebel Alliance alongside Andor. He reprises his role from Rogue One. So he's in Rogue One. So we've got some serious Rogue One tissue besides Val Bartha here at this point. But no, Cyber, what were your thoughts on? Is it possible, do you think that Bix might have been, to some extent, maybe this wasn't her full duty to Luthen or her full role, but that she was possibly a source of information for Luthen on Cassian, his whereabouts, his thoughts on him? She knows him.
Oh, most definitely. I think, I feel Cassian is a big, intricate piece to this puzzle of what the show Andor is about, and to Rogue One and all that kind of stuff. And I think that definitely she was kind of that connective tissue between, Lutheran and Cassian, and why he's such a big part, and why it's so important that, what Cassian knows, with how in that sequence there with Lutheran's talking to his associate there again, his assistant, and how he mentions again how he doesn't even realize what he has. And so there's definitely something important that Cassian either knows mentally or has on his person of some sort that has to do with, the battle, with the Empire's, ideas or whatever they're, looking to build the Death Star. So I think that Cassian in a whole is, such that intricate part that when, Lutheran found out where Cassian was, and he found out that, Bix was on the same planet as him, and that, and knew him, that he definitely made sure he had made a relationship with her to be able to keep in contact with Cassian, because he was going to be the key to taking down the Empire, basically.
It would have been really cool to have known how that all went down, because he very well maybe turned her to the rebellion, specifically just for the info on Cassian. You know what I'm saying? Like she might have had a dummy job with the rebellion over there on Ferris. Because really, come on, look at Ferris. Ferris is a work planet. That's all it is. You know what I mean? Like, it's an industrial planet. It's a free zone planet or whatever, whatnot. It's not a very hospitable place to live. And there's nothing going on there important and whatnot to where the rebellion would want to invest any effort or anything there. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck would they care, really? At that point, other than Maeve, right? And the fact that she has a relationship also, right? It could have been Maeve that converted her. Who knows, right? Because again, we already know Luthen must know Maeve. Obviously Luthen got his information on Cassian from multiple sources. It wasn't just Bix, whatever, right? Basically, Cinta and Bell are on Ferrix and we don't know this for sure, but they're basically, we don't know whether they're there maybe wanting to save Bix or to kill her and shut her up, because she, the Empire is cracking down, and she knows Luthen. She's seen Luthen's face, I think, everything. She's heard his voice. Now, of course, the way that they know where Bix is, that she's on Ferris, and the reason that the Imperial stormtroopers are down there is because Deidre from jump had set things up to have all communication back and forth through Ferrix bugged. So the minute that Bix contacts Luthen for help with Maeve's help, that's when Deidre is able to pinpoint this strange, coded sequence or signal. That's what makes her a target, Bix. And that's why they're there to get her. And she is caught, she's captured. And we also get the hint and find out that Vel and Cinta also could potentially be looking to eliminate Cassian. Again, because they're getting cutthroat at this point, the rebels. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they realize that the hammer's getting thrown down, right? And in a way, Cassian kind of went rogue after the heist. So at that point, they're kind of looking for him. They're, and nobody, of course, no one in town knows where he is. Vel ends up leaving. Cinta hangs out and kind of stays on Ferris. Now, as Cyber pointed out, we get the conversation, between Luthen and Saw, where basically they go back and forth, and Saw is more of a hardcore insurgent rebel. Like, he's actually the one, like, somebody that is out there, like, looking to kill people and shit and whatnot. He's ruthless. Like, and that's kind of the issue between him and, and Luthen, is that they have different tactics. And they believe in different, that the rebellion should be operated in certain different ways in terms of, like, the way things should be handled. Now, Luthen wants basically to set Saw up with Krieger, who we don't know who that is yet, but he wants to set him up with Krieger because apparently, essentially, he has another mission, or he has another goal or another objective and whatnot and everything, and he wants to get Saul in the game. And at that point, we then get the ending of the episode where essentially we have Bix strapped to a chair in a holding cell. Deidre walks in, right? And then the door shuts. And bam, that's the end of it. Great way to end it. Not suspenseful necessarily, a little bit suspenseful, right, Cyber? But not like, blow you away suspenseful. But I think that it's obviously it was very logical and commonsensical that we kind of had to kind of figure that there was going to be a reaction from the Empire coming off the heist, right? So what did you think of? There's not really much to talk about them grabbing Bix and everything and whatnot. I mean, it is what it is. They grab him. Then we get that ending scene. What do you think of that ending scene as a climax of the episode, right? And then, obviously, Deidre's going to torture her in episode 9. And I believe Bix will survive. I don't think Deidre's going to kill her. But is it going to turn you on watching Deidre fucking torture and beat up Bix? Because they're both hot. Like, Deidre, you may think Deidre's an asshole or whatever and whatnot, but she's definitely attractive. Like, she's a tall, hot bitch.
Well, I don't think Deidre is attractive at all. No. Bix, yes. Bix, I think, is very attractive.
See, I
don't think Deidre is.
I like Deidre's, like, really, like, serious nature and her stern.
That's
like,
your prerogative, sir. I could care
do.
less.
Ever since she yelled down me that night, man, I'm interested in chicks like Deidre now.
Well, then that would be your cup of tea, sir. Nah. No, but yeah, I don't think that's not going to turn me on. No, not at all. But to answer your question about the end of the episode, yeah, it was pretty lackluster. I mean, yes, we got that sequence where they capture Bix and they bring her to that interrogation room where that gentleman that she talked to, earlier when she's going to send a message to Lutheran, and we can see that they're using him as kind of like a part to get her to talk, basically, and they're going to strap her down in that chair and torture her. And you mean they kind of leave that an open ended because they show the chair and then close the door, which I think it's a good way to get your attention to want to come back for the next episode to see if you get to see what ends up happening. But then I think how it closes out was pretty fun, like going back to the prison and showing Cassian and the other guys working on those pieces for the Death Star. So I think that was a really great way to end the episode, showing that kind of that panning out. But yeah, none of it was very spectacular how it ended, but it still was very interesting. And I thought, decent and not horrible. And I thought that it ended pretty well.
I did too. And for ratings, I would say that I would probably give this one, this may shock you folks, I would actually probably give this one a 9.5. I think it's that good an episode. I really do. I think that I'm not an expert in or as knowledgeable as like Cyber, for instance, when it comes to articulating sometimes or being able to like really like know the verbiage to explain some of the aspects and the intricacies of production of films and whatnot and everything, right? And things and scenes I notice and whatnot and everything that like, I like or I find interesting or unique and whatnot. At times I don't know the terminology necessarily, right? To really be able to explain in a way or convey what it is I'm liking about it or enjoying. Although one thing I will tell you, Cyber, is that I like how well lit everything is in this series. Nothing is dark, right? Like everything is very illuminated in everywhere they go. Every different planet, every different structure, every different scene, every different background, everywhere they go. Even when there are dark tones or it's night, everything is well lit. You see everything. And that's nice. I like that. I do. So yeah, I'll give it a 9.5. What do you think?
I would give it a 9.5 as well. I thought it was a very solid episode. I thought it had a lot of great points, a lot of great scenes. I love the introduction of Forrest Whitaker and the Andy Serkis into it. I love the whole prison aspect. I thought that was really cool. And I don't feel this episode was as solid as the previous episode, and so that's why I give it a 9.5.
There you go. Okay. Well, there you go. Cyber and I are in agreement. How about that? 2 9.5s. That's awesome. I love that. I love that synchronicity right there between me and Cyber. Jassem, my brother, I don't know why you weren't able to come on, but I mean, hopefully you'll be able to come back for episode 9. We have episode 9. We have, of course, we have a new guest coming on to do Willow this Friday. We're doing Willow. I believe we're doing episode 4. And basically, Cyber's moderating. And we have coming on with us from, to be honest, I'm not even sure what the name of the podcast or the YouTube channel that she's on is called. It's my friend Jermaine's. Jermaine that's been with us before on the Bleeding Edge and been a guest, with us and whatnot and everything, and basically kind of got back into content creation through guesting with us. He actually was kind enough to share content information with this whole team he's built on this new show, this new podcast and YouTube channel that he's doing right now, where he's doing movie reviews. And we'll have Jermaine on soon, and he'll talk about all this and explain what he's doing. But basically, on Friday, for the first time, along with Jennifer, who's been joining us for the Willow Reviews. We're going to be having Brittany Hudson. We're going to have Britt on for the first time. And Britt's very wonderful. And she's also, she's actually more attractive than Deidre. And I don't mean to be unprofessional there. Britt, I'm just being honest. You're definitely more attractive than Deidre Miro. And she will be there with us on Friday to do Willow, which will be great. This way, if Willow episode 4 turns out to be a shit show, at least we'll have attractive women on the panel, right? So that's always a positive. Can't go wrong with that. So, to the plugs. Cyberneticshark, my friend. Here,
yes,
my friend,
sir.
is your YouTube channel. Now,
yes, it is.
What other platform would you like me to pull up? You want me to pull up your TikTok?
You can if you want. I don't care. Whatever you can pull up.
Let's see. It wants me to sign in. I gotta log in and everything and whatnot. Let's see here. Oh, shut up. Shut up, stupid TikTok bitch. Fucking TikTok's so irritating, man. I'm telling you. Do I dare try to go to Rizzle TV? Let's see. No, but go ahead. Cyber, tell us what's going on your YouTube channel, brother.
All right. So, as always, like I say, if you enjoy me here on the MCU's Bleeding Edge, you can definitely check out my solo content. And like Jeff was saying, I am on several different platforms. I am on YouTube. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Rizzle. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those great places. And as he has pulled up here, he's got my YouTube channel pulled up there. You can see the Santa Claus trailer reaction for the Santa Claus series is one of my most recent. But as you can see, I'm at 459. I'm getting close to that 500 mark. So I want to thank everyone that has been subscribing recently. You guys are awesome. Thank you. All I need is that 41 and I'll be at 500, which would be great if I could do that in the next, let's see, what's today? The 21st, 9 days, 10 days. There's 31 days in this month. So yeah, if you have not subscribed, definitely subscribe to that. I will be having coming up my Black Panther Wakanda Forever solo review coming up. You will also be seeing my Indiana Jones 5 trailer reaction, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumanium trailer reaction popping up here soon. You'll also be seeing my Hellraiser 2022 remake review coming up soon as well. I'm working on that. And yeah, trying to, like I said in previous live streams, to get a new review up every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for you guys. That'll be the continuous spread, hopefully, for now on. Definitely 2 of those 3 days, definitely. But I'm trying to do 3 every week. And then, of course, if you haven't checked out my shorts, check those out. Those are some of my biggest views right now. A lot of people are enjoying those. And I recently started implementing the posters into it. So I hope you guys are enjoying that.
Yeah, it looks great. They look really good.
And I definitely will be doing some more for the shorts. I'll be definitely doing some more like behind the scenes features for you guys here soon, like cool little facts you don't know about certain movies, certain people, and stuff like that. So you'll be seeing those soon too. I'm going to be implementing that into my shorts on YouTube. I actually used to do that a lot on my Rizzle channel, but since Rizzle is really kind of gone downhill, I'm going to start doing it on my YouTube. So yeah, most definitely. And as he just pulled up, you can see the playlist there. The playlist are a variety of either all my regular reviews for films or my top list or my shorts or trailer reactions, horror pack reviews, unboxing, stuff like that. You can see there as it shows. I actually did a majority of the James Bond films, as you can see in the playlist there. I still have a couple more to put in there, and then I'll have all 20, I think it's 5 Bond films in there. I think I'm only missing Skyfall and the newest one, No Time to Die. But those will be up eventually soon too. Just haven't gotten around to it. But yeah, if you get a chance to go check that stuff out, people. I appreciate the watches. I appreciate the subscriptions, and you guys rock. Let's get me to that 500 mark.
Yes. We got to get to 500 before we can get to 1,000. And don't mind me, folks. I'm just over here fucking around, looking at Rizzle TV real quick. I haven't been on there in forever. Just looking at some of the stupid shit on there. Yeah, Cyber's not joking, man. Unfortunately, I hate to say it, but sadly, I have to truthfully call it basically my home platform where I started my content creation, if you want to call it career or whatever, was Rizzle, the platform that nobody on earth knows of. Because every single fucking person you ask out there and whatnot, anywhere, has never heard of Rizzle. I've never had one fucking person ever. I stopped asking at this point. I mentioned Rizzle. I just don't ask people anymore. Have you heard about Rizzle? Because there's no point, right? Because why have to be embarrassed and shit and whatnot when people are like, what the fuck is a Rizzle? Great job branding there, fucking you left this fucking douchebags over there at Rizzle, you fuckers. Over there fucking with your inclusivity and fucking diversity and shit and whatnot, and your entire fucking about page, all your workers are all Indian. You know what I'm saying? All of them. Same race. There's no transgender. We got more transgenders. We have more transgender guests on the Bleeding Edge than Rizzle has transgenders hired at their fucking company. Where's the inclusivity at, Rizzle? We've got more over the Bleeding Edge than you do on Rizzle. Yeah, so if you want to go to Clown World, go to Rizzle. But our content on Rizzle's good, just to be clear here. Now, folks, do me a favor, do me and Cyber a favor. Get up to 500 subscribers, because as we've learned, once you hit that 500 mark, it gets a lot easier to get to 1,000. You know what I'm saying? So, let's get to that mark. And so make sure that you go and check out Cyber's YouTube channel. Check out Cyber on any platform that you like to go on, because he's on all of them, right?
And the Bleeding Edge is doing remarkably well. We are currently at almost 8,700 subscribers. So want to throw a shout out to all those that are subscribing to us. Thank you very much.
Yes, most definitely. We are, I think the last time I checked yesterday, we were at like 8.78K or something like that, I think.
When I just looked at it, it's 8,667.
Okay, yeah. No, we're growing. It's great. It really is. It's very humbling. Thank you for bringing that up, Cyber. I mean, probably, if anything, I guess we'll probably be at the 10K mark on the Bleeding Edge, probably, maybe by January. Maybe right in the beginning of January we'll hit 10K. And at this rate, folks, honestly, I hate to say it, I don't want to fuck anything up for us, but shit, if it keeps going like this, by March we might be at 20,000. So I mean, Cyber and I have already seen some of the projections, in terms of our growth and like what we're expected to do based on what we're doing right now. And we can do better than with the projections we've seen, but they're still pretty damn good. So we want to thank everybody out there for making that happen. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Help us get to 10,000. Okay. It's a big milestone for me and Cyber. When we started the MCU'S Bleeding Edge, because I officially don't consider the Bleeding Edge being started until Cyber and Perry Ramsey joined. At that point, we've basically done nothing but fucking have success. So we're very thankful to all of you out there and whatnot on all the different platforms that support us and whatnot, because we're not on, just YouTube. We're on Facebook. We're back on Facebook Live again. Shout out to everybody that's, our numbers on our Facebook page are up. Our follows are up. Our TikTok followers are up. We're up to like almost 25,000 followers. I barely put any content up on there either. We're almost at 10,000 followers on Instagram. We're almost at 5,000 on Twitter. So, hey, big things are happening. So thank you to everybody out there that makes that happen with us. Thank you. If I forget between now and the end of the year, Merry Christmas, everybody. Have a great new year. And thank you to all the creators and all the guests and whatnot and everything that joined with us and on the Bleeding Edge throughout the course of the year and whatnot and everything, and did shows with us and grinded out with us and whatnot and everything. And you're all a part of us getting to that 10K subs without question. So, God bless everybody out there. In the Star Wars fandom, the MCU fandom, in general, all the fandoms. Unless you're in the She-Hulk fandom, then you can go fuck yourself. And besides that, folks, for Cyberneticshark, for Jassem, even though he's not here, for Dodger, And for Jar Jar Binks, we out, baby. Peace.
I got told earlier about flashlights, which is basically a dildo with a vagina hole at the top.
Yeah.
But surely no one...